Morning, Weatherman Ray here, or better known as Wixman Ray. Hey, gonna show you give you an update on the weather today. What you're seeing here is some winter storm warnings across parts of the southeast into southern Virginia and eastern Tennessee. So, yeah, some winter storm warnings are in effect. I'll take that off so you can see the radar better. I had to redo this video. I recorded probably a good 15 minutes and I realized it cut out on me, so I don't know what the heck happened. Anyways, so as you can see here, we've got this band of snow through this whole area, through the Carolinas, down into Georgia, even towards Atlanta, light snow, 25 degrees, up in Chattanooga, and I always forget what this is, Knoxville. They've got some teens and 20s with some light snow, and it looks like the heavier snow bands are right through here. Even towards the coastline, they've got some snow bands coming up here, 35 and snow at Cape Hatteras. So it's just above freezing there, but you see some snow out here, it looks like, too, across the coastal areas of North Carolina. So, yeah, even back into Alabama, this is real weak reflectivity. There might be some snow flurries or light snow spitting out of the clouds there through there. The other story here, we got some pretty strong winds, anywhere from 30 to 40, 45 miles an hour in some spots through this area as this whole low pressure that's formed out over in this general area is generating a strong pressure gradient. And so that's adding to some pretty cold wind chills. I mean, it's probably below zero or near zero in a lot of these places because we're seeing teens and 20s out through this whole area. Unless you're along the coast, you're more in the 30s. But this is definitely cold for you all. Looking down into Florida, it's getting chilly there. Jacksonville's at 51, 53 in Tampa, in the 60s down here in South Florida, but the rain's coming, and that'll probably be our max for the day as the rain kind of pushes through. Quiet through most of this part of the U.S. It's chilly. We've got some 20s in Dallas, Fort Worth, teens up in Oklahoma, 30 at Shreveport, 33 at New Orleans, and it's windy back here too. So it's cold. Bundle up. It's going to be a raw weekend across the south and southeast part of the United States. And then up north, it's just no, it's winter. It's cold. A little bit of patch areas of light snow here in parts of Illinois and Indiana, but really light, maybe mostly flurries. Back to the west, we have another system. This is a just weather disturbance, cold front, uh, moving through parts of the northern into the central plains. Real light snow, maybe some heavier bands up in North Dakota, but maybe some areas up here might get a inch or two, but really not a whole lot going on. Out west, very quiet. Um, Above average temperatures for the most part. It's cold throughout the Intermountains and Great Basins, 20s and 30s this morning, but a lot of other areas, 40s and 50s. I mean, look at that. 42 in Denver, 50 up here in Montana. Pacific Northwest, they're getting some areas of rain across Seattle. That'll continue for the next couple of days. And then warm in LA, 30, or not 30, 70, 71, 54 in Vegas, 68 in Phoenix. So, not too bad across the west. Um, so make sure I'm recording. This thing kicked out on me earlier, like I said. These are the 24-hour snowfall reports. So we've had up to 8 or 9 inches out here near the Appalachians, up in the higher terrain of the eastern Tennessee and parts of western Carolinas, even up into northeast Georgia, about 6 inches. So up in the terrain there where they've got the mountains. Up near Atlanta, northern part, 1 to 3 inches, at least the northern side. Yeah, so even towards Chattanooga, maybe an inch or two. Yeah, and then down into Charlotte, it looks like maybe 1 to 4 inches reported around there in that general area. Yeah, so this whole area has been seeing I mean, generally 3 to 8 inches, a little bit lighter around the fringes of it, but and it's still snowing out there, so more snow expected. Okay, just for your forecast, let's go back here. Come on, you can do it. All right, this is that system we were just talking about out through the southeast. You see this? You got this packing of the isobars, and these blue lines are basically the colder air coming down. So this is a cold front moving through South Florida here, where we saw the rain going through, and that extends off coast, and low pressures out here off the coast of the Carolinas. Um, that'll continue to snow through the day, most of the day, and then linger tonight, and then by the tomorrow morning it'll pretty much be gone. It'll move offshore. So then you'll just be left in its wake with cold air all across the southeast into Florida. And that'll last through the early part of the week, about Tuesday. By middle to late week, it'll start to moderate. Temperatures will start to warm up and get closer to normal anyways. So, yeah. There's our little clipper moving across the Great Lakes. This is on Monday morning. And that kind of dies out. Maybe left with some lake effects up in off the lakes as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday. Then we see our next storm developing here on Tuesday, with some rain breaking out across the Arklatex and extending to the east through the day on Tuesday. The northern fringe, you'll see a little bit of light snow, maybe a couple inches, nothing too crazy. That'll kind of progress on as we go through the day on Wednesday and move off to the south. Looks like by late Wednesday, whoops, okay, I'm bad about this. Keep pushing the wrong thing. The front kind of dips down into Florida again. This one won't be as cold, so it's not going to bring another shot of Arctic air. It may still be a little bit below normal with the rain moving through, but still it'll be closer to normal, but maybe slightly below. But all the jet kind of reorients later in the week, and you got most of the cold air bottled up through the northeast U.S. into Canada. So, and then as we kind of head through the weekend, that colder air will dip that back down over the northern part of the United States through the northeast on the weekend, and may bring another band of light snow across the north there, but probably not a big snowmaker, just maybe an inch or 2 or 3 here and there. So, yeah, relatively quiet. I mean, out west, the rain, like I said, will continue through about Monday, Tuesday, up in the Pacific Northwest, and then kind of end. And we got another system they're hinting at coming offshore into California by later in the weekend. They might bring some light rain to parts of California. We'll have to keep an eye on that. That's really about it. Looks like a successful video. Yeah, just a little bit about myself. I've been a meteorologist for 30 plus years. In fact, I started back in 1990. They sent me to they first sent me to what was called observing school in the Air Force, and I was an actual weather observer that went outside and took the observations. We had various pieces of equipment that measured the winds, the temperatures, the pressure. Then by using our eyes, we had visibility markers, and that's how we reported the visibility at the stations. And we had what was called a ceilometer, and that measures the heights of the bases of the clouds. But those only measure up to 12,000 feet. Anything above 12,000 feet, the ceilometer's not going to measure. So those are just estimated by the observer. Educated guess, basically. Yeah. But that usually we have other tools that help us to verify, within a pretty good degree of accuracy, how high those clouds are. It could be from reports from pilots or from the weather balloons that go up. We call them the soundings. um, and that'll measure how much moisture's in the air, and then we can kind of tell where there's the clouds, the base of the clouds and those things. So yeah, so that's what I did back in the day. But everything went automated. They still have what they call weather observers at some of the military bases and also at major airports. So places like Dallas Fort Worth Airport, the Kansas City Airport, all the major hubs where there's a lot of air traffic, you'll have actual human observers. And what they do is augment the automated weather observations that go out to the world. So a little bit about that. But yeah, I've been doing this for 30, going on 36 years this year. So I started back in the old school days when we had paper charts and we hand plotted everything. It was like being in art class, and we had to color charts and draw lines and analyze features on cold fronts, high pressures, low pressures, all kinds of good things. We even plotted the surface observations, which I'll show you. You've seen them here. That's what these are, like right here. So that's your temperature, your dew point. That's your visibility. That means it's 10 plus miles visibility. And this is your pressure reading up here. I think that might be sea level pressure. This is where your winds are coming from, and then this little circle, that tells you how much clouds. So when you got that line through it, that just means there's a few clouds. So that means there's less than 2/8 of the sky covered with 20,000 foot clouds at Albuquerque. So yeah, so we used to actually hand plot each of these onto weather charts back in the day before computers. So it was a very tedious job, but I loved doing it. When you actually hand plotted it, it was like you were in the weather. You were like in the clouds. We were geeking out. I was, anyways. So I love doing it, and it's my passion. So, anyways, that's enough about me. I appreciate you all subscribing, watching, liking. If you do like us, please like and subscribe, and we'll be doing more of this. And I am not doing this to be like the best, or I'm just myself. This is me, and this is my passion. And even if I only have 10 subscribers, I will continue to do this. So, hey, this is Wixman Ray out.